Hi everyone, welcome back to today's conversation. So thank you so much for being patient. I do have all your messages, and I'm sorry I've just been out of action because I've had a family emergency, family crisis. But no, thank you so much for your messages of support. So today I really want to touch on how we justify to ourselves certain behaviors, ways of thinking, beliefs, actions. We justify them and we keep on doing it. And I've been guilty. I've got clients, friends, colleagues that do this quite a lot. So in our superconscious in our conscious and our subconscious state, to whichever degree we are in that state on any given issue, we tend to justify that, hey, hang on a second, I'm really trying, I'm doing my best, I'm writing in my gratitude journal, I'm setting out my intentions, I'm writing out my goals, I'm doing everything, I'm watching my thoughts, I'm really focused on becoming the best version of myself that I want to be. So that's justification. And you are probably doing that, and kudos to you for doing all of those things. But if there's one or two things that you are reaching for that you know you should not be reaching for, you cannot use the 80-20 principle and say there's 80% of what I'm doing that's good and there's 20% of what I'm doing that's not so great, but it's going to kind of even itself out and I'll just get by to the next day. I've just got to survive this day and get by into the next day, and I'll be okay. And some days you're okay and some days you're not okay. And some days, on the days that you are not okay, it's because those two things that you are reaching for, it may be at not such an extreme level, it may be at a minor level or a major level or a medium level, but those two things carry a very heavy low vibration, but a very intense frequency, and they're kind of like going to outweigh the other things that you are doing. They're going to outrun it, and that's going to be, those two things are going to rise up in the hierarchy of things you're doing, so to speak, and it's going to knock out all the other work you're doing, because it's supporting a belief that you've had from childhood that's saying X, Y, Z, those two things that you're doing that you shouldn't be doing in that example, okay? It's reinforcing certain beliefs, and limited beliefs that you've had, particularly from childhood, have a very powerful momentum, very powerful. So I could be doing 7 great things, but that one thing that I know is limiting me is the one thing that's going to really manifest powerfully in different ways. So it's going to kind of like make me sick. I'm going to be prone to getting the flu or whatever, or even something major. I'm going to be prone to negative thoughts and negative thinking. I'm going to think badly of others. I'm going to hold others to a lesser standard because I expect the worst out of them. And it's just going to ripple through every part of your life. You're going to be more prone to traffic rages, thinking badly of yourself, irritation, anger at others and yourself, judging yourself, shameful thoughts, and not feeling good enough. And the danger is when you get into that state, you're not able to function and be and do those things that you need to do that are going to get you to where you want to go. Okay, so I've suffered from this. Everybody has suffered from this. Nobody is immune to this. Okay, it's especially if you've had a tough childhood upbringing where certain beliefs were taken on that no longer serve you as an adult. So be aware of what you're justifying. Now, the justification doesn't have to, the things that you are reaching for doesn't have to be the obvious things like porn, gambling, addictions of alcohol, drugs, food. There can be other things like sitting too long binge watching television, okay, where you get this feeling after a few hours in your solar plexus chakra that, hang on a second, you need to switch this off, so we need to do other things. But you don't do that. You keep watching for another 2 hours. Now you've hit that dopamine level, that false sense of high, that false happiness. And when you come crashing from that, you're going to say to yourself, oh gosh, okay, tomorrow I'll do better. So already you're hard on yourself. Already you don't feel so great because you've wasted 6 hours when you could have been doing that 6 hours doing something else, So give yourself that few seconds to make a better decision, okay? I know that you think that those two things have got a hold on you and you can't get out from under it. I can tell you without a doubt, in 2021, I have kicked two major addictions in 2021, and in 2022, in January, a few weeks ago, I've just kicked another addiction. It was crazy. And this addiction that I kicked in January of this year, 2022, I have lived with this particular addiction, for I think probably 25 years, to different degrees. I've got clients that have kicked it. I've got friends. I've got family that I've seen successes, because the fear is, can I be with myself? Can I be alone without reaching for that thing? Friends, people, places, events, thoughts, whatever it is that's going to give me that temporary relief. Because if I don't get the temporary relief, then I've got to face myself, and I don't want to face myself, So I can tell you without a doubt that when you do step off the ledge and let that thing go, when you take that leap today, when you give yourself, and when you sit with yourself, it's kind of scary, because you're like, oh gosh, I don't really want to face myself, or whatever the case is. What am I doing with my life? I don't want to face all the negative thoughts I have about myself, or look where I am and what I'm doing. It's kind of scary, but do it. Give yourself that leeway, because that's going to take you into a quantum field where the different versions of yourself are waiting to unfold and to manifest. So they're waiting for you to raise your vibration and match that frequency so that it can manifest. Then you'll get the right people, right circumstances coming into your life, okay? So this lifeline that you're on, you're not stuck with it. You're not stuck in it. Don't ever think that. However bad your day is today, and I had a terrible day yesterday, the day before, where it was a really, really terrible day, or for one of the worst days of my life. And no matter how bad it is, you can turn that around. You can jump lifelines. You can quantum leap into a different version, okay? Remember, I've discussed this analogy before, where somebody is driving on the road in a chauffeured car, in this fancy limousine, decked out in the best suit possible, okay? A man is driving in this car with his wife decked out in all the jewelries, very filthy rich. On the same intersection, this is an analogy I think used by Vadim Zenon, but on the same intersection, there's a beggar on the street who has no food. So at the same place, time and space, there's two people living different lifelines. Why is that? Because the one has managed their life, their perception around money, for example, okay? So you can, whatever your situation, whatever your circumstances are, you can attach a new meaning, work on that belief, change that subliminal program, contact me in terms of how to do it. Because I've done it. I've changed my subliminal programs. I no longer hold the beliefs I held last year or the year before or 20 years ago. I literally do not have the same beliefs. You have no idea how liberating that is, how freeing it is. I freed myself from people, places, events, things, whereas some people are not happy and they can't communicate with me in the same way, but it doesn't really matter, and it's nothing bad on them or bad on me, or good on them or good on me. It's neither here nor there. The point is, I have shifted, and the sense of freedom is crazy, because now I'm free to do what I need to do in this life. I'm free to show up differently for the people around me and show up as a better version of myself. So those things that you are doing, watch it. I've got a client, and his kids are in their 20s, okay? But whenever I talk to him, 90% of his conversation revolves around the kids. He still calls them the kids. They're in their late 20s, okay? And his wife. And that's what he talks about. That's what he focuses on. That's his thing. So he's doing everything else right, but he is holding on to this. He's reaching for this. And this becomes his reason for living. And that cannot be your reason for living, okay? You've come here to do something amazing. You've come here to be something great. Now, I'm not talking about success or wealth or whatever. I'm talking about inside of you a feeling of fulfillment. I'm not talking measuring your success by other people's standards or societies. I'm talking about you've come here to act out your talent, to act out and live what the things that you love doing, that you like being, and to do it in a way that's pleasant and wonderful. And you've come here to get on certain adventures. So get off this lifeline that you're living on. Get off it. Give yourself a few seconds to choose something better, because those two things you're reaching for are going to outweigh and outclass and outrun all the good that you think you're doing. That's how powerful they are. Don't underestimate them. When you know in the back of your mind that there's something that you should not be doing and not reaching for, do not underestimate it, okay? It's extremely powerful. You may think it's a minor thing, but it colors everything. It entangles everything in its web. Okay? So I have faith in you. You can do it, and I've done it. So I'm happy to share my story, how I've done it, and I literally cannot believe it, on some things. And I'm looking forward to just challenging myself again and again and again. Okay? But yes, love you guys. So that's the message for today. Okay, have faith in yourself, believe in yourself. Don't write yourself off. Do not write yourself off.